Hello and welcome back to this video once again. In this my video we are going to look at forms. When we say forms, what comes into your mind? Forms are is a way of collecting information from the users of our website. Okay, so if you go to Facebook to log in, where you input your data, your email, your password, that is a form. Okay, if you are signing up for anything online, what you input, your name, your data, your date of birth, your phone number, is a form. So basically, form is used for collecting information. That's one basic thing about forms. It's used for collecting information. And in this video, we are going to dive into forms. We are going to look at how forms, the types, input field, and other stuff. Okay, so let's get rolling. Before we start, I don't like the aspect of always saving, hitting Control plus S. So everybody head to File, scroll down, and then you see Auto Save. Yes, click on Auto Save. When you click on Auto Save, you don't really have to waste your time each time to save the code. It will be saved automatically for us. We don't need to be saving it manually. All right. So this is what we have to do now. Let's move on. To start a form, you need the form tag. The form tag. All right. And this form tag also accepts some attributes like the method. We have the get and we have the post. Okay. Now for here, explaining this method will not really mean much because we are not going to use the post and then the get in the HTML here in this lesson. But when we get to advanced topics like JavaScript and PHP, that's where the post and then the get is going to be used mostly. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is what we are going to do is I will give you the explanation, but the real implementation of it will come later. Okay, now we have two forms of forms submission. We have the get method and also we have the post method. But with the get method, what it does is for get is used to submit data that are not sensitive. What do I mean by sensitive? It's used to transfer or submit data that are less data that are not that much valuable, data that are not something like getting the ID of something. Maybe you want to get a page number. Okay, you go to some site, you see that in the browser there's something like page, something look like this, something will be like this, page is equals to 3. Okay, each time you go to the browser and you see something like page is equals to 3, that means there's a form behind the scene and the action of the form is action get. Okay, as for the get, it displays the information in the browser, it is visible. Okay, so if you are submitting data to the server side and the data include things like the user's information such as password, email, we don't use the get. Hello, we don't use the get. What we use is the post. Post is used to submit large amount of data to the server, and with post it is secure because as for post, you don't see the values of the form in the address bar or as part of the address. You don't see that one. Okay, so let's get to code. We will explain everything in detail as we move on. So the form accepts two methods. We have the get and we have the post. For now, for an experimental sake, let me go with the get. And then there's another attribute also. There are many, but there's one thing to call action. This is the site or this is the page that our form will be submitted to. Okay, for instance, you see, you go to facebook.com and you log in and all of a sudden you are taken to the Facebook page. Okay, so what happened is at the action side there is a linking to the server or to the backend that will actually handle the form request or the form as a whole. Okay, this action side will take us to a particular part of the server that will handle, maybe if this one is login, that will handle the login, and thereafter the processing, the server will push it to any page that we have to go. Okay, but that is more let me say verbose for now, so let's drop that one aside and let us focus on the get. For the action, we are not going to use them now, but I just want you to be aware that they exist. Okay, let's put hash. If you put hash here, that means the form will not submit anywhere, it will not go anywhere. Okay, it will not go anywhere. Okay, so let us save. Okay, oh, sorry for saving. We've already enabled it, so we don't even have to waste our time saving. When we refresh, we are not going to see anything. Why are we not seeing anything? Because we've not done anything. Okay, and with forms, we have types of forms. We have types of form inputs. There are so many inputs of forms. It depends on what you want to collect from your users. Someone will want to collect username, and username is full of text, so you have the type that you have to use. Someone too will want to collect passwords, so we have a field dedicated specially for password. Someone too will want to collect emails. That's the same way we have a special input type for email. Okay, but enough of the talkings. Let me actually show you some things here. So let us say I want to take my name, so input type of text. Why input type of text? Because at the end of the day, name is all about text. Okay, name is all about text. Then you close it. If you analyze this thing again, you can see that the input is also what? Is also a single closing element. That means it cannot take any child. Okay, cannot take any child. It's not a parent, it's always meant to be a child. Let's refresh. Very good. This is the input form. Okay, mine is too big, that is why you see this is how it's going to appear, but for readability's sake and for you to see it clearly, I'm going to make it bold. Okay, so we have the form here, and I'll enter my name, code with Ibra as the channel name. Okay, code with Ibra. I've taken the name. I have input the name here. Let's come back to the browser. You see, most of the time when you go to websites, and if you go and there's something like this, you will not understand. Either you have to put your email or your phone number, you will not understand. So I think it will make sense for us to display something small here, like a text that will describe to the user what exactly we are doing. Okay, so let's see that in action as well. Alright, I'm enjoying teaching you this course. In fact, I love coding too much, and I hope you are also enjoying. Okay, so what we do is we have an element. Okay, we have an element in HTML called label, and just as the name implies, label will label the input for you. Okay, the label will label the input. So label is for labeling. What is the specific purpose of this one? I said I want to take inputs of names from users. So name. Let's save it. Oh, forget, we have enabled autosave. Let's refresh. Very good. So now you see name and then you see the input form. What comes into your mind? Okay, they are expecting name here. Very good. That's it. So the label helps us or gives us the ability to be able to know what a particular form field is all about. Okay, it's all about. And let's take phone numbers too. I have a quick question for you before we move on. Okay, I have a quick question. You see, this one is the label element, and this one here too is an input element. They are not together. But what do you think that this one has allowed, the label has allowed the input element to be placed in front of it or the next to it, put the answer in the description below. Or if you are on the channel, go to the channel and then go to the group forum and then type the answer this question there. Answer this question there. I'll come and check. Okay. But if you also know, if you are not on the platform, you can join. If you are okay, if you don't want to join too, you can put it in the description below. Why do you think that the name and then the input, this one is not pushing this input to the next line, but it's allowing it to be in the same line? It's a very question for you. Try and solve it. Very good. If you get it wrong too, it's best. My best friend is mistakes, because it makes me to move to the right path. It shaped me to the correct path. Okay. All right. So let's move on. We have another label element, and this time around I want to take emails from users. So email, and then come here, label, input, and then the type of the input is email. Oh, this is not how to spell email. Email. Very good. Let's go and then refresh. When we refresh, we see that email is here. When we see the name here and then the email to here. Okay, that's right. Now it's not readable. What we are seeing here is not nice. So let me introduce you to another tag. There is a BR tag that is a short form of break, right? BR it means break. So it will sort of give some spacing between them, sort of break this one from this one. You can see that from in action. Okay, you see the break. It has, this one was overflowing here, but the break has caused it to come to the next line. All right. Okay, that's how the break works. So, and then label. This time around we want to take password from the user. Password from the user. Okay, so input, password, hit enter, input password, and let's refresh. Oh, my bad. And let's refresh. When we refresh to, we have our password here, but just as it happened the other time, it's happening the same. So let's bring BR here so that the password will move to the next line without conflicting as it's doing now. Very good. So we have the name, we have the email, and then we have the, actually, you know something, instead of the BR, let's change things around. I like to play around with code so that it helps me to know the different things. All right, so let's use the div tag. And when you are coding, you try as much as possible to make your coding nice, make it readable. Okay, make it readable. Coding is something that is meant to be fun. So if your coding style, your style of writing is not nice, then it's very, very horrible. So you make it very good. All right, and then it's left with this one too. Let's actually put it in the div tag. So the div, and then this one comes here. All right, so this is the div. The div tag, if you have not come across this one, let me explain. Div is the short form of division. So it's a division tag. You are going to see this mostly in HTML codes. So it's for division, for dividing sections of the website, web pages. Okay, so this is trying to tell you that this is a division, and then a division. Okay, division is a block level element. It's not anything difficult. It's a block level element also. Okay, Let us go to the browser. Wow, yes, and it's simply the same thing. Okay, it's the same. So why did I use BR? The goal of using BR is to expose you to the div tag. The div tag is very, very important, and then the div tag will also, you are going to see this one very most often. So it's very, I think it's very okay, it's very good if we talk about it now. So that's all about the div tag. It's just like the BR tag, but with the div tag is used mostly because it's the short form of division. It's a division tag. That's what you will be seeing in most of the code that we will be writing, either here or anywhere. Okay, so this is it about the forms. And then I think it's actually a wise decision to have sort of button that when we click on it, you see something maybe like a register button. Okay, so let's go back to the code, and then let's introduce a division tag, div for short, and then a button, button, call it register. Very good, register. Let's come to the browser, refresh, register. Okay, this register. Now at the moment our form will not register, it will not go anywhere. Okay, it will not do anything because we've not made the necessary requirements. Okay, there are some things that I would do. We are coming to take notice, like we are coming to take a look at. Most of the time when you visit websites, you see that when you click on the name like this, automatically the input field that is connected to the name gets selected like this. So if I click here, then this one automatically becomes focused. We are coming to look at how we will do that. And also, I think it will make a lot of sense if we add number, so that we are taking the username, email, and then the phone number. Okay, so let's add that one. So the name, the email, I will want to bring the phone number here. So let's introduce our div tag, and then the label is, let's just call it phone. Okay, phone. The users will know that we are talking about phone number. So input of the type number. You know what? Let's not make it phone. Let's make it age. Okay, age. Why we are not making it phone? For so many reasons. I just want us to make it phone. Let's make it age. Okay, let's make it age. And then we close it. Can close it like this. And then we come back to the browser. We refresh. Very good. We have the name, we have the email, we have the age, and we have the password. Once again, let me say this: if you are looking at this and you are not impressed, like it's not fine, it's not nice, no, don't discourage yourself. Don't kill the morale. Okay, this is the initial, this is the beginning. We are getting to the point where things will change. So let us focus on the skeleton. We are building the skeleton. See, if you see a man and the man is in a field, it does not mean that the man cannot move. It means that there is something wrong with the skeleton. If your leg is broken, the bones is broken into pieces, you cannot walk. And basically that's the same thing that happens to your website if the skeleton is not well. So that's why we've taken the time to code the HTML to better ourselves with the skeleton of the site. Very good. Like I said it earlier on, I said I want it in such a way that when we click the name, automatically this the input that is associated with the name will get selected, will be focused, so that we know that okay, the name belongs to this input, the email belongs to this one. All right, if you agree with me, let's continue. So you have to come to the label. There is an attribute for labels That is called for. All right, FOR, for. And the for is going to target the particular input that you want this label to this label to target. Okay, mind you that when we were dealing with attributes, we came across attributes like classes and ID. Okay, and with IDs are unique. Every element in the HTML, every element in HTML is supposed to have a unique ID. The IDs you give to your element should not be the same. The ID for input 1 should not be the same in input 2. For classes, they can be the same, but for ID, it is very, very important you make your IDs unique. Okay, so since this one is about name, it makes more sense for me to say name. Okay, so this one has an ID of what? Of name. And then the label for. What do you think we have to do? We need to connect the ID from this side to the label. When we connect the ID from here to here, what will happen is this label will now have the understanding that, okay, I am a label and I am made specifically for this input. Let's see this in action. So name here and then save. Let's go to the browser, refresh, click on it. Very good. Hello, I hope it's working at your end. Okay, so when I click on the name, automatically this input field gets selected. What does this tell you? This is trying to tell you that the name label, this name label here is meant specifically for this input. One thing that I also see in websites most of the time is that you see that there will be some sort of hint inside this text box. Maybe a name in a graph form, you get what I mean. Sort of like a placeholder in it that when we click on it, then it disappears. When the input becomes blurred, then it's okay. That's what we will be doing. So that one, we have to give our inputs an attribute called placeholder. Okay, and placeholder is like placeholder just gives a hint. Say hint. Yes, it gives hint to the input box. Maybe the person does not know what he's doing, so you give them example to follow. So example of the name is I love to use my studio name, Code with Ibra. That's the name I love most. So Code with Ibra. We go and then we refresh. Okay, you see the name is Code with Ibra. Once I start to type, you see that the placeholder would vanish. Okay, it has come. It is gone. It has come. Okay, so I want you also to pause the video and implement. You see, when you click on the name, when you click on the name, you see that the input element associated with the name gets selected. And number 2, there's a placeholder here. Okay, so this is what I want to do for the email, age, and then the password. I want you to make it in such a way that when you click on the email, this input here will get selected the same way as it's happening here. The same thing to this one, the same thing to the password. And also, I want you to give a hint, a placeholder text in the email, in the age, and also at the password field. Okay, pause this video and do it, and after that you come and you continue. All right, I hope you were able to do it, and if you were not able to do it, don't worry, let's do it together. Okay, let's minimize it. Come to the email for email. Yeah, let's create the ID first. ID for email, that's unique for the email. So this one will reference here, and then we give this one to an ID called what? Age. Call age. Then label for age, and then this one is let's give it an ID of password. Label for password. Okay, this is the register button. As for the button, we will come to it later. So let's go to the form and let's refresh. We click here, click here, click here. Wow, it's working. It's left with the placeholders. Let's input that fast. So placeholder, maybe code with ibra@gmail.com, and the placeholder for the age is maybe 23, so that they will get to know that they have to put their age. And then placeholder for password, as a password, just say password. Okay, and let's go back to check things up. Refresh. Very good. Okay, so this one, the placeholder will just give hint to the user that okay, I have to type my age, and you put the age here. Some of us are 99 years. That is you, yeah. So you put it here, and then the name, the email, the password. Okay, and then let's come to the button. With the button needs an attribute. The button also need an attribute. Okay, so the attribute for the button is type. So we have so many types of button here. Okay, we have the submit, we have the button, we have the menu, we have the reset, and we have the submit. Okay, so basically what this means is with the submit will submit the form. Okay, if we want to see if the form has been submitted, let me do something small here. You bring hash and then you type form submitted. Okay, form submitted. The input is submit. Let's watch it in action. Let's remove this one from there. This is the page. Okay, and then let's click on the register. Very good. When we click on the register, you can see, I don't know how I will zoom that, but you can see from the address that we have form submitted. Okay, so that is simply telling us that with the input type of submit, it is used to submit the forms. Okay, it's used to submit the forms. We have input type button. When you declare it input type button, the button will not be if you click on it, nothing will happen. Why will nothing happen? It will not happen because it's just a button. It's not submitting anything. Click on it and see. Hello, are you with me? So if you click on it, you see that nothing is happening. This is telling the form that no, this particular one is not the one that will submit the form. It's telling the form that this one has the type button, so it's just any other kind of button. It's not the one that will submit the data, so it will not submit the data. Okay, all right. And then we have the reset. As for the reset, it's very powerful. It's very, very, very simple as well. So refresh the page and let's start input name. So code with Ibra. I love this name so much. Code with Ibra@gmail.com. And then the age is, let me say I'm 49 years. And then the password is 123. Let's click on the register. What did you see here? We input data in the form, but once we clicked on it, all the data that we input was gone. Okay, so that is telling us that the reset will just clear everything from the form input form. Okay, so if that is the case, I'm sure it will make sense for us to just do things like this to know the buttons and their uses. So let me just copy and paste, but as for you, it will be okay for you to type them, because the more you type, the more you get familiar with it. Copy and pasting is good, but it's good when you know what you are doing. For beginners, I will not recommend you copy and paste. You have to keep typing, go the hard way so that you get it. All right, you will get to know things better. All right. So this is what we have now. This is what we have. Let's refresh the page to see the changes. We have register button which submits, which registers the user. We have the button which does nothing, because as for button is just for button's sake. And then the reset is for clearing data. Okay, I have this extension that will populate the form. Oh, what is happening? It's not working. Okay, so let me just go to code with Ibra as my name, and then the email is code with ibra@gmail.com, and then my age is, okay, I'm 150 years old. Okay, you will not accept, but that's it. 1 2 3 4. When we click on register, look at what happens. But you see form submitted. Let's come back. If we click on button, nothing happens. If we click on the reset, everything is gone. Okay, so that should basically tell you what it does. But by default, if we specify a button in a form, okay, if we specify a button in a form and we did not give it any type, the form will automatically assume that because this one is a button, the type is submit. Okay, but if we have more buttons, then there's a need for us to specify which one is the submit button. Okay, you see this one, we did not specify anything for the button here, yet it is acting as the submit button because that's the only button that we have. Okay, now let us go into the aspect of the form, the get. This is comment. Earlier when I explained this to you, let us go to the action. Okay, let's make the action nothing. Let's make it blank. And then for us to really see things in action, we need to give our field names. Okay, every field must have a name. Every field must have a name, so that other languages can like JavaScript and PHP can talk to them. Okay, they must have names. So I give this one a name of, let me say name, because that's what it represents. And then I give this one to a name of email, because it's all about email. Your names should be descriptive. Okay, whatever name you give, it should be descriptive. And then the password is also password. Very good. Okay, auto save has saved it already, so let us now see things in action. Let's see things in action. The name, oh, I love this name so much. Code with Ibra. That's very good. I hope you also like it. So code with ibra@gmail.com. What was my age those times? I was 95, something like that. Maybe 80. 80 will make it. Okay. And then the password is 1 2 3 4. Let's hit register. Very good. Now if you can look at the address, okay, if you can look at that address, you'll see that the name is code with Ibra and email is code with ibra@gmail.com, and the age is also 80. Okay, I think one thing is not showing. The password needs to show. What is happening to the password? Oh, okay, it's supposed to be name. Sorry, my bad. It's supposed to be name. I made a mistake. My bad. Okay, come back. No need to refresh. 1 2 3 4. Go back again. All right. So we can now see that my name is this. Okay, and email is equal to this, and age is equal to 80, and password is equal to 1 2 3 4. Okay, the password that was hidden here, password which was asterisk here, now the web the address has revealed the password that is what is 1 2 3 4. This is one of the dangers of using the get method. The get method, you should never use the get method for sensitive informations. if you want to register your users or take information, it's not advisable to use the get method, because one thing about the get method is it will expose the information to the browser so that hackers can easily see your information. They can get to know your password, and anything they want to do with it, they will go on to do with it. Okay, so it's very, very advisable to use this method called post. As for post, it's a very secure way of sending data to the server that will not be seen. Okay, so let's see the post also in action. All right, so let us clear the URL, refresh everything back again, and this is what we have. Let's start again. Code with Ibra at gmail.com, and my age. Okay, this time around I am 95 years old, and then my password is 1234. Okay, let's register. Very good. Now we've registered. Okay, the data is sent. You don't see anything here. The reason why you are not seeing anything here is we've not redirected the form to any page. Okay, we've not redirected the form to any page. That is why you are not seeing anything in action. But let's look at how we will redirect forms. So come to the project section and create a new project and call it profile.html. Okay, and this profile, let us declare our doc type HTML. This is the basic that we did in the first lecture, and I'm sure you have not forgotten about it. So my profile, we have the body, and then there's an H1 call you are logged. Okay, let's make it you are registered. Okay, let's make it you are registered. Okay, you are registered. So when the users fill the form and they submit it, then they are taken to this page. That's the rationale behind it. So we will make the action is equal to profile. Oh my bad, profile. What is going on? Profile.html. Okay, profile.html. That means we are sending the request to the profile.html, but nothing really is going to happen because this is just the skeleton. You cannot expect to see the name we type inside the name as the name field to also appear here. No, it's not going to work because we need to add some things to it, and we've not gotten to that side. So for now, we are going to see static data, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine for the doing. Okay, so here's the form. Let me just code. I love this name too much. Now I am 800 and whatever age. Okay, and the password. Register. Hello, I hope you are with me. So we are seeing you are registered. Okay, so this is how basically you make a registration page, whereby when they log in or when they register, then you take them to another page. This is how things look like. Okay, all right, and also let me go back to the form and see something else. All right, I think for now this is what we need. There are so many things, but I think for now this is what we need. But then I would like to add one particular thing to you so that you will be fine. You'll be fine. So label for profile image. Okay, if you want the user to upload an image, there's also an input that handles that particular aspect. You just have to declare the input and then give it the type of file. Okay, let's give it an ID and call it let's say image, because that describes it. We call it image, and then we give this one to the attribute of 4, so that the profile image label will target the profile the input with the ID image. Let's go back to the browser and refresh. We keep seeing this because we've changed the method of submission to post. That is why these things are coming. So I will want to take them out so that at least it will not be asking me sort of questions. So let's say get, and where is the profile? Okay, this is the profile. All right, so everything is now ready. Let us go to the form. Okay, hello, I hope you are seeing everything on the screen. We have the profile and we have the choose file. Let's just make things look right. This one is not really readable, so I will just add BR here so that it will break it to the next line. Oh, so I don't want this thing. Let's go to the index. Okay, so we have the profile image. Okay, when we click on the profile image, we are prompted to upload a file. So let me go to the desktop, and I have website, images, I have avatar. I click on it, and here will display to us the name of the target selected file, the name of the chosen file. So in this case, the name of the chosen file is avatar.png. Okay, it's avatar.png. And from children's or child's, let me see, however, okay, okay, that's not how. Label for text. Okay, let's call it okay, comments. And for comments, we don't use the input tag. As for comments, we use something different. It is called text area, because that's where we give the user the permission of typing whatever they want to say. Okay, and text area is not self-closing, it needs to be closed. Okay, and in between, one thing about text area is it does not need any child. You don't have to put any child here, just make it as it is, like this. Okay, don't worry yourself making it anyway, just make it like this, but bear it in mind that it does not require any child. It does not need any child. You can't put content here. If you put content here, it will be fine, but it will be displayed inside the site, which will not be that cool. See, it has come here. Always when we refresh, it will show here. I don't know why they made it that way, but I suggest it shouldn't have been there. So this is how you are to make your text area. Okay, and we have rows. Let's make the rows 10 and see what happens if we make the rows 10. Very good. Okay, so you see, sort of like as giving a weight to the text area. Let's go with 3 and see what happens as well. This is it. Okay, but the form is not really looking nice, but my point is not about the beautification of the form. I just want you to understand and see how things are. Okay, building forms is not the goal now, but the goal is to actually know how the skeleton work, how the rough work is. Okay, so here's the comment, and others, as you can see, let us give an ID to our text area, an ID of maybe, let's call it comment, and then 4. We give it comment, and then we come back here. We click on the comment here. You see, that's what lies here. When you click on it, very good, you see that the text area is selected. You can also apply placeholder to it, and it will work. Placeholder, so let's say something. So with the say something, that's what you're going to see here. All right, That's what you're going to see here also. And there's one thing that I also want you to know as far as working with forms. So let's come here. Actually, let's come here. Then a div tag with a label of gender, and then with the gender I say select option. Don't worry, I will explain everything to you as we go on. Okay, so choose option, and then option is male, and then option is female. Okay, very good. So this is we have what we have here is selection. You go to a website and they are asking you, maybe choose something, choose your name, select your occupation. This is how it goes. Okay, this is how it goes. Actually, even though this is the skeleton but it's not being readable, let's add some br to the end of all the br to all the divs, so that things will look nice, at least can be readable for our eyes. It's not good to be seeing things that has no meaning, so let us add them. And if you are enjoying this course, kindly consider subscribing and joining our Telegram channel for more. Okay, so let's look at how that looks. All right, now we have seen some spaces in our code. Okay, we are now seeing spaces. So this is what we just did, the gender. Okay, the gender. When you click on the drop down, click on this one. There's a drop down, and you get to choose what you want. Maybe gender if you are male, if you are female, if you are male. The default one is going to be choose option. Okay, let us come and then do the explanation. So we all know, we are all familiar with the label. As for the label, that is what is placed there for the customer or the user to know what he is to do, or the input they are expecting from him or her. And then the select, this is what we see here. The select is this one. You see, this one is the select. Very good. And what is inside is the option. So the option tag is there to give options for the user to select. Okay, so the parent of the option is select. This is their parent. So there's parent's name select, open and closing, and its children will come into. And remember, the options are children of the select. So that's how it is this way. And one thing about a select element is always the first option. That is what will be shown when the page loads. So you see, we can even select female, and when we refresh, it will go back to the options, choose option, which is the first element, the first child in the select parent element. Okay, all right. So I think with this, I will end it for forms. And if you are enjoying the course, you kindly put your comment and you subscribe. Consider subscribing if you have not, but in case you don't want, fine. All right, let us end it here, and I'll see you